You're listening to Rock the System on Our City Radio. Here's your host, Shelly Dudley.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rock the System. I'm your host, Shelly Dudley. My co-host tonight is Justin Masters. And in case you can't tell, we have been making some jokes off the air here. Oh, my goodness. So, So, Justin, how are you tonight?
Clearly off my medication.
Oh my gosh, and of course my phone is going to ring because I forgot to turn the bell off.
All right. Every time you hear a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. I wonder why I've never gotten mine. Oh well, someday.
Well, we had the pleasure of having on our show tonight a brilliant group called Rabbit Quinn. And the band's name is taken from her name, and her name is also Rabbit Quinn. And the lead singer is who is with us tonight. Would you like to introduce them?
Well, Rabbit Quinn, I tell you what, if you know anything about music as a whole, she has a lot of quality. She's a classically trained pianist, which I'm always fascinated by musicians, that are, and of course ones that aren't as well, but ones that are have a different take on what music is. The Doors were an example of that. They had classically trained people within that band, and who would have thought it? But with Rabbit Quinn, she's akin to a lot of different people. Nina Simone is one. Spector is another. There's also, in my eyes, when I listened to her, I heard Joan Baez. So she's got a unique quality and a storytelling in a folk way as well as the old Celtic way, and it's very easy music to listen to with a story that just is amazing in each one. And so she's got a voice that you guys are just not going to believe. It's haunting. It's comfortable. It's like, well, I don't know how to describe that, but you'll understand when you hear it. You'll know what I'm trying to say. That it's just a very haunting, comfortable, just beautiful sound. And
I think that's a really good way to describe it because, yes, haunting voice, yes, definitely, and very interesting and intriguing to listen to. And like you said, she tells some amazing stories in her songs, and she very much lays bare her soul for you to peek into.
Yes, she does.
Well, without further ado, let's introduce our guest to Rabbit Quinn.
Glass broke, the water crashed down and carried him out to sea. We lit the pipe but had nothing to offer save firstborn and the tears, firstborn and the tears. Three words, I scratched them all out on a stone in the ground beneath the leaves. Unhinged, calling your name, tearing at the snow and at the years. Firstborn in the years. Come on, 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 come on. In the ground beneath the leaves. Come on, 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 come on. In the snow beneath the leaves. Hey, now tell me, honey, do you really know the Eggman is your new girl? Just a little pink cloud drifting round and round again. said, well, honey, am I talking to myself? Are you even there? Ooh. Dawn broke, the water crashed down, carried him out to sea. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back again. There wasn't anything there, just that born and
Well, Rabbit Quinn, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Rock the System. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure.
So how did you get started? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? And
I grew up in Saratoga, which is about an hour south of San Francisco. And I started playing piano when I was really young. My dad was a classical pianist, and it was just around. Started singing and making up songs, and then my mom kind of figured, she has a talent for this, so she'd probably get her some lessons. And so I started when I was about 5, and the rest is history, really. I just kept going. That's one of those things that I loved it and kept doing it and decided this is what I wanted to do. Had my first demo in high school, decided to major in music in college, and then moved to the city afterwards to seek opportunity.
Well, you do play a beautiful piano, that's for certain.
Thank you.
Now, how did you get the name Rabbit Quinn?
So Rabbit was a nickname that I picked up in high school, and then my real last name is Motai, which is Turkish because my dad's Turkish, and it didn't really roll off the tongue so well. Rabbit Motai. So I decided to go with a different last name, and Quinn was my grandmother's maiden name. So we just decided, Rabbit Quinn, that works. Me and my friend and sound engineer, Ben, who helped me record the album.
Well, very good. So now, when was your album released?
Last January.
So just a month ago, then?
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. The January before last. So it was January 2012.
Okay, so one year ago.
Oh, don't ask me questions with numbers. I'm terrible at that.
Well, I've had the privilege of hearing some of the songs on the album, and boy, your music is just beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, you know that we at Our City Radio absolutely love your music.
I felt so supported by you guys. It's been overwhelming, actually, so thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome.
I've already picked out a couple of songs that I consider personal favorites that I really kind of want to know about.
Sure. Ask me anything, really.
One of them is Blueberry Coat. Now,
that's very cute.
Yeah, the way there's a neat story in the words of that song, and the instrumental in it, the point and the counterpoint that I hear in it is very nicely done. But what I'm wondering is, where in the world did that song come from?
A couple of different places. It was one of the I think it was the second or third song that I wrote on the album, and in my earlier 20s, I had a ill-advised tryst with a married man. Good Lord, I can't believe I'm saying that on the air. He was a friend of mine, and his wife was a friend of mine, and I don't speak to either of them anymore. But it was a really traumatic kind of event that happened to me, and I had to deal with it. And it wasn't even so much the falling out of my relationship with him; it was my guilt towards her that haunted me about it. So I was trying to write about it, and I couldn't find the words. And I know this seems like it has nothing to do with it, but I needed a new winter coat. And so I went out and I bought this. I was looking for coats, and I was at Anthropology. Actually, I had a gift certificate and went there, and I saw this stunning cobalt blue coat. and there's something about it that mesmerized me. I didn't even want to wear it. I just wanted to stare at it. And I remember, are you familiar with the artist Paul Klee at all?
I'm not.
Paul Klee, he was a German artist, and he believed that the color cobalt blue was a spiritual color. And it was the exact shade of cobalt blue that I had a painting of his that was hanging up in my room. Anyway, so I brought the coat home, long story short, and just had a dream about it and would stare at it for a while, and it inspired me to write Blueberry Coat about this situation I had gone through with Mary Van.
Wow, I like that.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting story.
I like that, and don't be ashamed. Carly Simon made a fortune out of one of her songs that was very similar in regards to Tris.
You're so vain. I love that. I love Carly Simon.
She's a great singer, isn't she?
She really is.
It's beautiful. You've got such an amazing quality to your voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
I had another one of my favorites as I was listening to the songs. Another one that got me as I started to play it was Rain. In fact, I got this little grin on my face because instantly it painted a picture for me of rain in my mind, and the notes continued that below the lyrics throughout that story of the song. My question to this is, were those your voices as well in the background, or were that some backup singers that you had with you?
Those were me.
I knew it. I knew it. Very well done. Very well done. Very well done.
You are very blessed, that's for certain.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been compared to many singers, but this morning Justin was comparing you to Nina Simone.
Oh my God, what a compliment.
And there's
I think
another...
I'm just going to die right here from that.
Oh,
Thank you.
don't. Because, hey, here's another one for you, too. As I was listening to some of your songs, I heard Joan Baez in that quality as well.
Oh, God, you guys are so nice. I can't even add. I can't take it. I might explode on the phone.
Well, we know Joni Mitchell just had her birthday a few weeks ago, and during that time I was asking a lot of our listeners and interview guests, who is your favorite female rock singer?
That is a horrible question. No, it's hard. It's so hard to choose one. I mean, how do you even begin to choose one out of the pantheon of wonderful women? I don't know. I can't. I guess my favorite, Joni. Never mind. Yeah, Joni. Joni Mitchell, most definitely. I mean, there's just so much about. I mean, there are so many wonderful singer-songwriters, but I think her in particular, as a woman, when I heard her for the first time, it was like she became part of my soul. Does that make sense at all?
Absolutely, absolutely. She was an amazing singer, and she also had an amazing personality, and there's no doubt that she had a great influence on the rock music world.
Totally.
During her brief time, yeah. So now, who are some of the other artists that have influenced your music?
Let's see. That's a great question. I kind of grew up listening to a lot of classical music, of course, as a pianist playing it, and then kind of grunge took over when I was in high school. So, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, 9 Inch Nails, just a bunch of those artists. And then when I got to college, I started being exposed to more avant-garde music, Ligeti, Schoenberg, Ravel, Steve Reich, and that, because I majored in composition, so it really opened my eyes to all the different, very almost odd things that you can do with music and still have it be powerful. So it's a mixture of things. I love all music. I mean, I love punk, I love Led Zeppelin's one of my favorite bands, so it's just across the board.
Wow, that is quite the amazing gamut of genres and artists.
It's good. All of it's good stuff.
Now, how did you begin composing?
When I was really, really young, I remember it just kind of happened, and I was in kindergarten, and I was staring up at this tree. It was a mulberry tree, and the light was kind of filtering through it, and I remember hearing music in my head and just starting to sing it, and that was the first time I wrote anything, so it seems like a very natural thing to do. From
the age of kindergarten, that's amazing.
No, I mean, little kids make up stuff, we're weird. Little kids are weird.
No, they're creative, and I think they've not had that creativity squashed out of them yet, so that's a good thing. Yeah.
Most kindergartners don't write that down, though.
Things, yeah.
Well, you seem to have kept your creativity. Did you have supportive parents?
Not really. They did the best they could. They really wanted me to be able to make a living. So they were always really afraid of my chosen career path. How is she going to support herself? How is she going to support herself? And I had to really stick to my guns in order to become a professional musician. And I'm happy I did, because I love my life now.
That's awesome. So obviously it is a passion deep within you. So who is your strongest support these days?
my fiance, Josh. He's my rock. He puts up with me and supports me endlessly and feeds me.
I was just sitting there thinking as I'm listening to what's going on. You were saying that, the family and sometimes they always have a vision of what they want their children to believe. I'm still battling that myself, and I'm 50 plus. So you're in good company, kiddo. Stick by what you believe, stick by your dreams, and don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something when you know that you can.
Oh, you are so wonderful. I completely agree. I mean, for everybody who does an art, I mean, it's so challenging because a lot of the time I think you just create something and put it into the void, and you don't know, who's receiving it, what they're thinking of it, and, just knowing, that it is relevant is important, and sticking by that.
That is very true. So a friend of mine here at Our City Radio, her name is Sydney Conover, and she just wrote this really beautiful article. You can hear my Facebook making little dinging noises. Let me pull this article up, and I'm going to read it to you really quick. I'll just read you a quick piece of it, but she wrote it for artists. But she says, to the world's indie artists, the creative collective, when times get rough and you falter, momentarily doubting yourself, remember, you are not alone. There are many, myself included, that have hesitated and temporarily lost our way. Some not finding their footing yet. Still others that are debating whether or not to give up. Always be true to yourself and do not confuse the insecurities of that moment for the signs of someone lacking confidence or direction. Instead, find the keys that open your heart and that lead to that belief in yourself. Let nothing stand in your way, not love, not life, not that doubting self. Remember, you are different in the most beautiful way possible. Your soul speaks where others do not. There is a longing in you that cannot be defined by the definitions of others. You have a calling, a need greater than yourself, be it a need to paint, to sing, to dance, to sculpt, to write, to snap the shutter on whatever your eye holds creative, to draw or to make movies. The list goes on. Yet nonetheless is something stronger than you. It whispers your name in your sleep. It lurks around corners. It hides in the shape of a majestic tree. It peeks over the tops of cornstalks, even sets with the sun at the far end of a beautiful pasture. It twinkles in your eye. Never ignore it. That is the devil's curse.
Wow. That was profound. Can you please email that? I think I went tear up a little bit. Wow. That was very effective. It affected me very deeply. Oh, my goodness. What a wonderful, wonderful letter.
She is an amazing writer. She does a beautiful, beautiful job, and we are so blessed to have her at Our City Radio.
Right. I am crying a little bit. That was just so beautiful. Please. I feel like I need to write her a response or something saying thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will email that to you, and I will copy her in, and then you'll have her email address if you want to write her back and let her know how that's touched you.
I would love to write her a fan mail. Thank you very much.
Stay with us for more of Rock the System on Our City Radio.
Does your company need to advertise on the internet but you're confused by all the options? Well, we have a solution. OurCityAds.com makes placing your message in front of your target audience simple. Easy to access reports let you know exactly how your ads are performing. Let OurCityAds.com put your ad in front of your target audience and get the results you deserve. Visit OurCityAds.com and start your new advertising campaign today.
You're listening to RCityRadio.com, the rock channel.
It's the one day of the year for flowers, chocolates, and even honey-do list. A day when you will do anything for the one you love.
Here's your candy. Here's your card. And if you get this in the ground by spring, here's your flowers.
Happy Valentine's Day from RCityRadio.com.
Hey, baby, want to catch a concert this weekend?
Sure, honey. I'll jump online and get some tickets. Where should I look?
Go to RCityTickets.com. They have a great selection and good prices, too.
Aren't They the company that give you a free restaurant.com gift card with every purchase?
Sure is. Our City Tickets really knows how to take care of their customers.
Sweet. Dinner and a show this weekend. Now we have to decide where to eat. Thanks, Our City Tickets.
To purchase tickets to an event in your city, visit ourcitytickets.com because you deserve more.
Hey, what's going on? This is Brian Tan, the comedy man from the Portsmouth Our City Radio Comedy Channel. And right about now, you are listening, the same as I, to Rock the System with none other than Shelley Dudley.
Rabbit, I'll ask you a question. These people that you work with, is it Beth? Is it Weezen Danger or Wiesen Danger?
I'm laughing because it took me 6 months just to pronounce your name right on stage, shamefully. Wiesendonga.
Okay.
So she comes from very thick German roots, and it's Wiesendonga. And then Natasha Littlewood is the cellist. So. How
did you meet those people? Was it somebody you'd gone to school with, or were they part of the music scene out there?
So Natasha was a friend of someone I went to school with. I was looking for a cellist on the album, and she was recommended to me. She came into the studio and recorded on Burberry Coat, actually, among other songs. And I thought to myself, this is a really cool chick, and she's really good. And if I ever finish this opus, I want to call her up and see if she wants to do shows. And she did. Once we had that, each other, we were like, okay, we need some rhythm. And I didn't want a traditional drum kit by any means because I knew it wouldn't suit the sound that we had. So I set out some feelers to my friends on Facebook and email. And, we found Beth that way, and she had just graduated from college and had gotten back from New York, which is where she went to school, and she came over, and we started making music and started just giggling wildly because it sounded so good. We're like, okay, this is it. This is good. We're going to stick together.
It feels good when a plan comes together, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. It's a rare and beautiful thing.
I mean, it's like you were saying earlier, especially when you sit there and you don't know how it's going to sound, when it gets out there, when you're first creating something, and then to be able to bring other people into your vision, if you will, and then be able to see the final product come together as beautifully, frankly, as I believe it has.
Yes, it's the best feeling. It really is. It's like being through this, stars align and the universe is giving you a giant yes and fireworks in the sky or something.
And I can hear the
Go
grin
ahead.
in your voice still. I mean, you're still smiling from ear to ear, despite the fact it's out there and you're already thinking other directions. I'm betting.
Well, you got to do what you love. That's the thing. If you're not loving it, then what's the point of working your ass off at it?
That's exactly true.
The fires were burning, and I saw there was no way out. falling across the sky. Clutched my knees tight as the ground had opened wide. Then the killing jar swallowed me inside. I am the sun. I am the warrior. I am the shore declare I am. I am the sun. I am the warrior. I am the shore declare I Now the dead are speaking. They say we've lost our ways, harked our souls. I turn to listen. My mouth is dust, my skin is ice. Feel so cold. All their voices tearing me apart, drowning out the hearing of my heart. Shackles broken still, hear them in the shadows. Closer, oh, closer. I am the sun. I am the warrior. I am the shore declare I am. I am the sun. I am the warrior. I am the shore declare I
Chanticleer. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Chanticleer was a long journey. It started off with anger. I'm trying to figure out what came first. I forget what I was angry about in particular. I think I was just feeling restricted at that point. And I grew up in a very restrictive upper middle class environment. And so that, I mean, and I'm sure you can relate to it. It was, it was very difficult trying to define yourself given those kinds of restrictions because there's a lot of expectation about who you'll be and about what's appropriate, and then your behavior needs to be a certain way, and your clothes need to be a certain way, and your job needs to be a certain way, and you need to use the correct fork at dinner, that kind of shit. And so it was, I spent a long time rebelling against it and then coming to terms with it, and Chanticleer was part of that for me. And I think that the most vile part about that kind of, I'm not saying it was, Somalia or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's an environment that doesn't allow for the expression of emotion or the acknowledgement of emotion. And so whatever it is that you happen to be feeling, unless it fits within the paradigm of what they consider good taste, it doesn't exist. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
So, I mean, that song was my way of saying, I'm going to feel what I want to feel, and I'm going to shout it from the nearest mountaintop, and if you have a problem with that, you can go fuck yourself. So, but Chanticleer is a character from the Canterbury Tales, and he was a rooster, and I really loved that kind of sense of hubris that I felt when I was reading about him. And then the beginning, all the chanting is actually Buddhist funerary chanting. I kind of ripped it off from a YouTube video, but I just felt like it should start with death before going into life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it definitely does, and it's a very interesting song.
Thank you very much. It's an anthem song if you're ever having a day where you feel put upon.
It is. It's interesting because I recently, I have two stories to share with you. First one is that I recently interviewed, and Justin interviewed with me, a group called the Shed Spiders, and it reminds me of what they had to say about their song, Nothing to Prove. And they really felt the same way, that they had been stifled and put in a box and not allowed to express themselves. And so they wrote this song as an expression, and it was called Nothing to Prove. And they were saying, you know what, we don't have anything to prove to you. It's got nothing to do with you. You know, it's about us and being able to express ourselves. And it's a hard driving rock song, but it is just really a beautiful expression of what they were feeling at the time that they wrote it.
I'd love to hear that.
And then the other thing that I wanted to share with you, too, I had interviewed a beautiful jazz artist, and she's got a gorgeous, smoky, sultry voice, and she is so gifted and so talented. And she is experiencing incredible success in her career. But she said one of the things that was Yay is right. Yes, I love when indies flourish. Go. Yes, go is right.
Live the dream.
And one of the things that she said was that when she very first started composing her own music, that it was very easy to write it down because it was her stories and her emotions, her feelings, the things that were happening to her and how she felt about them. So it was very easy to get them down on paper, but then to share them with the world was a whole nother thing. And she said she had to really look inside herself and decide, do I want to bare my soul that much and share myself with the world? And she is glad now that she made that leap of faith and did that because, like I said, she's experiencing great success and her music is just beautiful and she's in such demand. But I think that was an interesting introspection that she had to do in order to be able to do that.
Definitely. I think that's wonderful. It's terrifying, and it should be.
Is that something that you've experienced as well? Shouldn't I tell the world about this?
Yeah, definitely. I think most artists experience that. It's kind of a predetermining factor of whether or not it's going to be good art, because you're trying to help other people process their emotions, maybe even some things that they're not quite aware that they're feeling yet. So if it's not incredibly true for you, how can it hope to be true for anyone else? And they're under no obligation to trample all over it with their indifference, of course. But if you don't, at least having a 50% chance of success is better than none.
Well, and this is true, but I think that when you bare yourself open and you show your soul, you allow yourself to be so vulnerable that really what you're doing when you share that emotion, you are touching those heartstrings and those nerve cords of your listeners, and they are thinking, I can so relate to this song. She must be reading my mail because this is my own life story.
Those are the best kinds of songs. I mean, those are the artists that I think everyone has their artists that kind of speak to them in that way, and they're like, they were writing about me. I don't care if they've never met me. They were writing about me.
That's exactly it. And so I applaud the vulnerability of artists and that they're willing to bear themselves that way. And obviously your music does the same, so I can see that you will be great.
Thank you. It's hard trying to get back into that place, especially I think as you grow up and get older too. I mean, I'm not old by any stretch, but it's just I feel like it's so easy to let yourself be closed and try to reopen when you're writing time after time that place that you were when you were a kid, which is I think a very, for me at least, I try and get to that place, the very pure emotion. And it's hard. It's scary.
Scary is a good word for it because, it's like I said, you're making yourself vulnerable. And I think one of the things that we've learned as adults is to protect ourselves and put up that shield to protect ourselves from that hurt or that pain.
You said it beautifully, yeah.
Justin, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
Well, I'm looking at your homepage for Rabbit Queen, and it looks like you are going to be very, very busy here, starting this Saturday, I guess. And anybody?
Yeah, that's not even.
Yeah, and anybody that's out.
I mean, we just got a couple more shows.
February, March. I mean, every weekend through March, it looks like it's filled up. You're starting off April strong and heading straight into May. So, you're about to go on a little binge here of some good shows, and I recommend anybody out in the Bay Area in your neck of the woods to definitely check you out, starting at Red Rock Cafe this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Red Rock Coffee. It's a really great little coffee shop in Mountain View, and we love the atmosphere there. There's a kind of an upstairs story where we play, and it's a really nice view of the main stretch, and have really, really good cappuccinos.
What else do you see 2014 bringing you? And more importantly, what is your vision for Rabbit Quinn?
Those are great questions. I think 2014, we want to go on another tour during the summer. We want to go up to Seattle and back. We're booking a lot of shows. Like, we get a lot of requests for shows, so we want to keep doing that. We're also, I'm writing again with the girls, and it's really, really amazing having two other musicians right in front of you during the writing process, which is something I haven't really been privileged with before. It's kind of just been me and my little piano hole. But with the girls, like, I have an idea. We actually had rehearsal yesterday, and that started playing a swing beat, and then I immediately went to the piano and started writing something over top of it and singing, and then Tosh came in with the cello, and then we spent half the rehearsal orchestrating this new seedling for a song. So we're writing for the next album, and I'm not sure when that will be, but it's very exciting kind of being back into the writing process. Just a lot of shows during the tour, and that's... Oh, we're really excited. We're playing at the DNA Lounge in March at the Area Unplugged. So that's going to be like one of the biggest venues we've played so far, and we're super excited about it because it's like the main stage. And I've been going to that place since I was, a teenager and too young to get in. So I can check it off my bucket list.
Well, that is exciting. Congratulations about that. And, of course, all of our listeners out there are definitely going to want to go to that venue and hear you play, because that's going to be an awesome concert, I'm sure.
We're really looking forward to it. There's so many other great bands that are going to be playing, so it's going to be an amazing event.
Excellent. So now what date is that in March? Do you know?
March 16th.
And
Sunday. So we're going to be playing between 5:30 and 7:30. That's our window. We're not getting exact time probably till a couple days before that because they're still like finalizing the lineup. But they said that we would be between those two times.
Excellent. So now, if our listeners wanted to get tickets to that event, where would they go?
I'm not sure yet. I'll be putting a link up on my website, though. We just booked it, so he said he would be sending me the press release and everything really soon. So as soon as I know, it will go right on the website.
Excellent. And so if our listeners wanted to connect with you and find your website, how would they do that?
They would go to www.rabbitquinn.com.
Okay, and so that's rabbitquinn, QUINN.com.
Yep.
Okay, great.
It's a beautiful website. I'm really blessed. My friend Kim designed it for me. She's amazing.
It is a beautiful website.
She's very talented.
Of course, they can also find you on Facebook, too, because I did.
I'm I'm kind of a Facebook pervert. It's bad. In fact, after I get off the phone with you, I'm going to check my Facebook and post something. But I love Facebook because it's such a sense of community. Like, all my musician friends are on there, and we've been getting, like, a crazy amount of likes, which is kind of freaking me out. Like, we got 100 yesterday, and, we keep getting successively more. I don't know if it means anything, per se, but it's really amazing. It feels like we're being supported, so that's really cool. And then people will comment on your stuff, and you start, like, little cool, witty conversations, and you get to kind of peek into other people's worlds, and I love that.
It is a great way to connect with people, definitely. And like you say, to have a little insight into what they're doing lately or what they're feeling or thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your song, Deer Hunter, Little Deer Hunter.
That song was with my dad, and it was the only song on the album that I wrote without a piano, even though it does have piano in it. My dad has borderline personality disorder, and our relationship has always been strained, to say the least. So it's really difficult loving someone on a primal level like that because they're your parent, but they're not healthy, they're not sane. You can't trust them to treat you, without or to not hurt you. So I was sitting and I was sketching. I'm a visual artist too. I don't know if you knew that, but I did a lot of artwork for the album, and I was sketching one of the song portraits on there, and I just started humming this. And then the words just came. It was a very organic thing, and I just started writing it about my dad, and it only took one sitting, and then I decided to orchestrate it like a Scotch-Irish ballad, and that's, bring in the strings and keep the piano pretty sparse as I could.
Father, sink into the darkness like a golden harvest falls to the reap. Father, sing honeyed milk for melody, sickness in a lullaby that lures me in. I can't hold you in, I can't drown you out. Silent fixed as a tree when the words fall like stones from your lips. Death of me, you will be the death of me. Arrows pierce the little deer. I am your hunted, running deep in your wood's periphery. Track the scent and make the kill, crushed under your reach. I can't hold you in, I can't drown you out. Silent in the headlights as the blade from your eyes meets my flesh. From the navel to the grave, not a jumper fully armed from your brow. I cannot be both predator and prey. I can't hold you in, I can't drown you out. I can't take a step when the words sweet as songs, honeyed milk, lullabies, lure me.
Well, you mentioned your artistry, and that was something I was going to touch on because I'm looking at the pictures on the Rabbit Quinn website, and I was wondering, wow, I wish I had that kind of talent. First off, I mean, I'm lucky to be able to play hangman and still draw the stick figure.
Everybody starts somewhere. Hey, there are circles where they'd pay millions of dollars for that.
Yeah, it's like abstract art. I look at some of this stuff, and I go, huh? But your stuff is very, very based in, a human form and a reality from what I'm looking at on these pictures. And I'm wondering, what came first for you? I mean, did you start to draw, or did you start to have the music going first, or was it kind of a combination of both where the pictures drove your music? What was that?
Well, I've always been an artist since I was really young. Like, I just love to draw. I love it. It's very calming. I have a lot of, I think most people who can relate to this have got a lot going on in their heads, and so it's a very calming thing where it's like when I'm drawing, the world kind of melts away, so I use it that way. For the album, it was a random thing. So I just decided that I was going to, when I get sick of writing, I'll go draw some, and when I get sick of drawing, I'll go write some. And, a lot of my music, I try and keep visuals in mind, just because I feel like that's how you write good lyrics, is to make them very metaphorical, mythology, keep it very accessible visually, and so the drawing really helps with that.
Well, I won't say that I'm glad you're not an artist, but I will say that if you ever get tired of writing music and performing, you could probably put some of these prints up in a gallery somewhere as well, because they're quite visually just beautifully done. And so to be able to do that and the music, I'm jealous. I really am.
Oh, no, Sophie. Thank you very much. You're very, very flattered. It's just something I do. I don't know. I got an offer to put them up in the gallery, and I need to get back to that guy. It just reminded me.
See?
Well, there is no doubt you are very gifted.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's so nice to hear that, like, again, you know, as an artist, you kind of just do your thing and put it out there, and to hear people appreciate it is like mother's milk. So thank you.
So tell us about the song October Girl.
October Girl was a song I wrote about being individualistic. It came, I was in college actually. It was the first song I started writing off the album. And I had been talking to a guy who was a marketing director. And he was a friend of a friend, and he had signed Vanessa Carlton. And so I was all excited because I'm like, oh, she's a piano chick. I'm a piano chick. This is going to be awesome. My ticket to fame, my ticket to fortune. And so, you know, I went and I had coffee with him, and he told me flat out to my face that I had no future in music and that I was way too unmarketable and that my music was really unusual and that I should just write simple pop songs if I wanted to get anywhere. So I was furious, absolutely furious. And, you know, of course, I smiled and thanked him for his advice and then promptly went home and started banging on the piano.
Good for you, and good for you for not listening. I think one of the things that our city radio is firmly believing, and I think it's one of the reasons that we're growing like wildfire, is because that traditional system is too formulaic, and it is playing the same songs over and over and over and over again, and they are pushing artists in a direction that they don't want to go so that the industry moguls can make their fortune. And it is really sad to be losing that creative expression in mainstream music nowadays. So, you know, we love being able to give indie artists that forum and that format where they can just express themselves, and the listeners are absolutely loving it. You know, it gives them fresh music to be able to listen to that is really expressive and very talented, just like yours. So I'm glad you wrote October Girl.
Thank you. One of the biggest thrills of my life was somebody came to a show recently and started singing it with me. They like knew the lyrics. I'm like, yes.
This isn't March, you know it's cold out there. You wanna wipe your boots on my chest? What do you care if I'm playing cards with Santa Claus? He's not as jolly as they say. Actually, he's quite a cur. Enjoys it when I'm being naughty. October girl with a jack-o'-lantern, holding it tight, standing outside. Stiff as a stiff, but I should know that's how it goes. You treat me like I've leprosy, you'll contract some rare disease. 'Cause I won't play Pachisi, but it's fine, I'm over it most of the time. Can't always be roses and wine like they said. The day in my head, voices when they sang to me. They say it's only make-believe till you believe in me. Well, I guess I must confess I prefer the fantasy. 'Cause I was an October girl, I was an October girl. Say what you want, but those bullet holes, they're in your chest, breeding bloodstains, running away from the little birds with razor teeth, building nests of dexedrine, pecking at you ceaselessly. Your weaknesses are tasty. October girls with the jack-o'-lanterns, twigs in their hair, pearls for our eye. Wait, can you hear? We're pecking at your window panes, waltzing with your weather vane, licking jewels and gathering the moon. It's fine, I'm over it most of the time. Can always be roses and wine, like they said. The day in my head, voices when they sang to me. They say it's only make believe till you believe in me. Well, I guess I must confess I prefer the fantasy. Please, I was an October girl. I was an October girl. October, October, tickety, ticky, ticky, near, near, near. Ooh, This isn't March, you know it's cold out there. You're gonna wipe your boots on my chest. What do you care if I'm playing dolls with Karl Marx? He's good at picking bonnets out. He'd never fuss or make a scene. 'Cause I won't play Pachisi, I won't watch a TV, I won't dance to Britney, and I won't go to the goddamn beach. I was an October girl. I was an October girl. October girl. I was an October girl. Ooh.
But our city radio, I just wanted to say, is really wonderful. I love listening to the rock station, and I really love what you guys are doing. It's no wonder you're spreading like wildfire. Keep it up. It's really, really cool.
Thank you.
It's a great way to discover new artists, and I feel like I don't know what to expect when I'm listening, and that's the best thing ever. It's like, yay, I don't have to hear the same song over for the 20th time today, and I don't even really like it. Woohoo!
That is very true. That's it. You just never know what song's going to come up next. You know, it is totally unpredictable radio, and that's what makes it fun. You discover some very new, cool music just as it's being made.
Right.
That person that you were talking to that said, you know, you should give up this and give up that. Well, you know, that's the funny thing. I was saying to Shelley before, you know, about an hour or so back, that not every song, not every artist, not every bit of music is for everyone. If it was, then it wouldn't be music, first off. Secondly, one of the bands you mentioned early in the interview was Led Zeppelin. Well, I hate to break your little heart, but they're not one of my favorite bands.
No!
See, Shelley? See, that's what I get every time I say that.
Friends anymore. I'm so sorry.
I got that growing up all the time, kiddo. I'd say, yes, okay, so what? Now, I'm not saying I don't like all of their music. It's just, I like some of their stuff. It's just not as a complete body of work am I a big fan. I know. You can hate me. You can hate me now. I'll go back in my corner and pout.
I'll make an exception for you.
And yet,
love Led Zeppelin in my presence.
And yet, you notice that didn't keep Led Zeppelin from being wildly successful.
No, they could have cared less about me.
No.
That's just it. That's just it. So you've got a bright future ahead.
Sorry, I just got this image of like Jimmy Page like hunting you down and knocking on your door. There's just so much that you said on the radio that you didn't like our music. Why don't you like our music?
Yeah, here's my guitar. Only it's not going to be given to you. It's going to be given to you.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of bases from her artwork to the music writing to the creative aspect to her now new musical partners that she's found, which I think is absolutely awesome. It's amazing how things happen sometimes. Chance meetings, even, or friends of friends, and it's good to hear. And the fact that you also have some classical training again is unique, because that's one of the questions I always like to hear from musicians. Did you have any background? Was anybody in your family? And example being, I grew up with a mother who was a pianist and an organist, and she tried to give me lessons at a musical school. I did it for about a year when I was 12, got bored with it, got other things I wanted to do, and it's one of my biggest regrets that I did not continue doing that, because I hear music and I see music in my head, and for me not to have done that. So congratulations, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful future.
Oh, thank you so much. Same to you. We got to just keep hauling the line. I mean, that's what we do as artists. You can't really think about, you can think about success and what that means, but ultimately I think you just have to keep doing what you do and have good days and bad days.
So if you could give one piece of advice to other indie musicians out there, Rabbit Quinn, what would it be?
Fuck the man.
Excellent piece of advice. Excellent piece of advice. Well, thank you so much for being so generous with your time today, and thank you for joining us on Rock the System.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
We wish you every bit of success, and we're going to do everything we can to help with that.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Care.
You've been listening to Rock the System on Our City Radio. Tune in next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for more fun on Rock the System.